Pod Chef. Pod Chef. You're listening to Pod Chef. When I say pod, y'all say chef. Pod Chef. You listening to Pod Chef. It's a podcast about Top Chef, and that's a broadcast. It's on TV, and you can watch it. They got 21 seasons, that's a lot, kid. But you can skip those. We do recaps about the whole show. Not the food, though, but the other stuff. Yeah. You're now listening to Pod Chef, the only official podcast about the TV show Top Chef, with your hosts, Jamal, Bryan, and Reaves. And I only said their first names because I don't know everyone's last name, and I'm trying to be polite. Now enjoy the show.
Welcome to Pod Chef, the official Top Chef podcast. I'm your host, Jamal. I'm here every week. With me, as always, my co-host, Reaves. Say what's up.
What's up, people? We're back. And when I say we're back, like we're back for real now.
Yeah,
like
we're back.
We're in playoff mode now.
We're in playoff mode. The Super Bowl is right around the corner. We're in playoff mode. Speaking of that, is your assistant here?
Yeah, let me check in. Let's see if my assistant's here. Bryan, you want to say hello to the people?
Hello. We're so back. Get the word out there. Let them know that we're back. Also, assistant? I'm assistant now? What am I assisting with?
So, Bryan, there's been some reorgs at Pod
Yeah,
Chef.
there's been some reorgs.
Okay.
I don't know if you got the emails.
I did not. I've not been on my email. It's the weekend. I don't have to be on.
Well, it was decided at a leadership level, and so that's why you were maybe kept off some of that communication.
Okay.
But there's been some changes to people's positions, titles, income.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
And some people were affected, right, Jamal? And some people
Yeah. Some people were affected, some people weren't. Tom sent an email late Wednesday night. He titled it Hump Day Email.
He always titles them Hump Day email every single Wednesday.
Had nothing to do with that. He said there's some bumps in the road. I think he just fat fingered it. He said we're gonna have some
the
bumps
whole
in the
Hump
road.
Day thing.
Yeah.
You think it's
I
like
think he
a
meant
Hump
to
Day
say
email?
I think he meant to say Bump Day email, and he typed Hump Day.
Okay.
Because the H and the B are so close to each other.
So you're saying he didn't include the like camel gif that he usually always includes with the Hump Day office. He didn't include that.
No, he put a rock gif, as in like we hit a rock in the road.
Okay. All right. Just a rock. A gif of a rock. Rocks don't move. What was that gif doing?
Well, it was a gif of the rock.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes
Dwayne,
that helps.
Because he's actually the new CEO of our podcast. So
what?
So he sent
chill out. He's doing too much.
He sent an email changing some. I am now not lead host. I am now primary host. Reaves is now alternate host, and Reaves, you are now assistant to the alternate host.
That's you, Bryan.
And that's you, Bryan. And that doesn't come. That title change is actually horizontal. It's not a vertical.
Horizontal.
Yeah.
Not lateral. Not lateral. It's horizontal.
It's horizontal.
It's not
lateral
even a lateral.
Sounds bad. We actually don't say lateral.
We don't say lateral anymore. It's a lot of changes.
We're looking out over the horizontal. And where you're going is a name change and a salary decrease.
Yeah.
But it's actually a good move for you when you think about it.
But
why?
So
I gotta relook at the email.
Yeah, I just skimmed the parts that were would Control F, look at my name, find my stuff. That's all I really cared about.
That's smart though. That's a good way to read emails.
Yeah,
we got
my bonus, saw my incentives, and some of the incentives are pretty big. And speaking of the incentives, one of them was more guests on the podcast. If we want to hit our salary bonuses this year, we have to have more guests. And so we are in playoff mode. And so I think we should just, unveil our guest right now, and I will do the introduction. Hold on a second. All right. Today we have a culinary powerhouse hailing from St. Louis, Missouri, and now making waves in Houston, Texas. She began her journey studying healthcare administration at Texas Southern University, but her passion for cooking led her to the Art Institute of Houston. After honing her skills at renowned establishments like Pesh, she became the executive chef at Gatlin's Barbecue, where she expanded the menu and earned accolades, including the Best Fried Chicken Award and the 2022 Eater Awards for Houston. In 2021, she was nominated for Culture Map Houston's Rising Star Chef and was selected as a James Beard Foundation Taste America Chef in 2022. She showcased her talents on Food Network's Barbecue Brawl Season 3 and competed in Top Chef Season 21, where she was voted fan favorite. Now she's the proud owner and pitmaster of Between Sandwich Co., bringing creative sandwiches to the Houston food scene. Please welcome to the podcast, Chef Michelle Wallace.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, guys.
I just want to say I remember this season that you were on.
Mhm.
And I remember
Yeah,
That's
it-
important.
me too.
That's number one.
it's very good that I remember. But I remember, I think in the beginning, because we do a fantasy draft
Uh-huh.
for all the chefs, and I remember we did a little reading up on all the chefs. I remember seeing your sandwich company. I was like, I like the name of that sandwich company.
Ah, thank you. Did you get it? Because sometimes it doesn't really register like I think it should. But I'm glad you like it.
Well, I do like it. I don't know if I get it, but that's because I'm not good at reading. So when I read it, I thought, I know we're talking about the stuff in between the sandwiches, right? That's
Indeed.
right.
Indeed. My mama's
Now-
listening, so yes.
So, so my thing was, how did you come up with the name and what inspired it?
Um, to be honest, growing up, eating sandwiches was just kind of what I love to do. Like my mom would cook 4 or 5 days out of the week, right? And then the rest is like leftovers or sandwiches because there were always things to make a good sandwich. And a lot of time leftovers just fit into a sandwich. So like if we had meatloaf, it was definitely a meatloaf sandwich the next day or whatever, right? And so the thing for sandwiches, it just really kind of resonated with me throughout my life. And so as I start to describe and do that, I would go, man, like I really am just interested in what can turn into a sandwich and how I can be creative. And so it was just like, man, I could put anything between the slices. So that's how Between came.
Wow. So did you test run the name Between the Slices?
What do you tell me did I test run it?
Yeah, the name Between the Slices, and you said, "No, let's go Between the Sandwich."
No, I didn't test. Well, maybe with a few friends, yeah.
Mhm.
But by that time, my IG handle had become a little popular, especially in this area, and so people knew Between Sandwich Co. It was just synonymous with Between the Slices on IG. So,
All right,
yeah.
all right.
I don't want to let this moment pass. We're talking about sandwiches. I just want to get right into it. I can't make a good sandwich. Now it seems easy. It is not.
Deceptively.
What are some tips? And you don't have to give all the secrets away. I know that you have a
Mhm.
business that makes sandwiches. You don't have to give us
Yeah.
all the trade secrets. But what can
Yeah.
I do as an idiot at home who's got stuff but can't make a sandwich taste good?
Really?
What are some like little things that I could do to make my sandwiches better? If I mean, please, you don't have to tell me. If you don't mind, you don't have to. You can say no, and we can move on.
I honestly don't think it's a secret. I'm also a contributor to like foodie.com. So you'll see a lot of articles where I give tips. But for me, the biggest thing is like, what do you want to make? What's the ultimate goal in the sandwich that you're creating? I want a roast beef sandwich or I want a steak sandwich, right? So for me, then that says, okay, I know that my steak, how am I going to cook it? If I'm going to grill it, then I need what's my crispy texture? What's my tangy bit? What's my, what do I want these ingredients to actually do? So do I want my bread to give the crunchy crunch factor of it when you toast it? Do I want my sauce to be spicy? How am I going to get something that's acidic in it? Is that going to come in pickled onions or pickled radish? Or so I think about how I'm going to build the sandwich, just like structurally. And then that to me, then now you're hitting all the notes that we look for, right? Something sweet, something salty, something umami, something, it's hitting all the notes. And so that's how I go about it. If my end game is a salmon sandwich. You know what I mean? I'm going through the motions of what's going to give me spice, what's going to give me acid, where's the salt coming in, you know, where am I getting umami from? And then that goes into the sandwich.
You mentioned a crunchy factor. So where do you stand on crunchifying a sandwich, which is to add potato chips to it?
Oh, I support this message 100%.
Okay.
That's good. That's
Okay,
good.
good.
Okay.
We can send our lobbyists back to Washington. Good.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I also enjoy. I think the best sandwich I ever made, well, not was tuna fish, and it's just plain tuna fish and to salad like that. And then I put Cheetos on it, and it was on white bread. And I did that when I was a kid, and it to this day I think about. I don't make it anymore. I'm an adult. I don't make it anymore.
Well, you should. I think you should still tap into it every now and again, because I think, you know, we eat it's either a complete new experience and it can wow you and blow you away, or it can bring you back to something, right? And so I grind and smoke my own bologna, but like bologna was one of my go-to sandwiches as a kid. And so for me, making it is very reminiscent of that. So I still enjoy some of those old school, simple sandwiches and dishes, because it keeps you satisfied in a way, you know?
I grew up eating Spam and cheese sandwiches.
Yes.
Still do.
On Kaiser roll.
Wow.
And the only time I ever crunchified it is when I took Fritos, the regular Fritos, and put them on top. And I called it the Salty Boy.
You named it.
It was full of salt.
Yeah, because every time I bit into it, I was like, boy, that's salty. So I said, I can't eat this too often. No. But that's the only time I've crunchified. But that's the extent of my sandwich knowledge is a Spam and cheese sandwich.
I'm not mad at it. I actually smoke Spam for my pop-ups every now and again. So
okay.
Is this when Jamal should say that he doesn't like sandwiches now?
Say it again.
Hold on.
Jamal's never had a hoagie or a hero. He's had like 3 heroes his entire life.
I don't know why you had to bring that information.
I just want to be honest. I want to be transparent with our guests.
I think me saying that I ate Spam and cheese sandwiches was an extension of me saying I don't know real sandwiches. And for you to go that much detail to our guest is kind of disheartening for me. So, yeah, it's true, though. I've never had a real sandwich outside of like a meatball sub. And even then, I've never had a full one because I can't finish them. It's too much bread. It's too much. What would you say for a picky eater like me? I'm coming to your shop. What would be a good sandwich to start with?
The fact that you mentioned it's too much bread would make me really focus on the ingredients between the slices, right? And so I would probably make for you maybe like an oxtail grilled cheese. So it's very reminiscent of a simple sandwich, but it's packed full of flavor. I smoke the oxtail, we braise it down, we throw some pickled onions or whatever pickle we have on hand, put some cheese in it. It's simple. It's not complicated. You know exactly what you're eating, but it's giving you big flavor.
Wow. Oxtail grilled cheese. I'm buying my plane ticket right now.
Yeah.
To Houston.
I got you.
So
now,
go ahead, Reaves.
Sorry. Do you serve soups? Would you serve a soup with this grilled cheese?
I could. I have never actually, but I'm up for a challenge.
You can.
Yeah, no, I've actually done soups at my pop-ups and everything. It just kind of depends on what I'm feeling. A lot of times I'm sourcing straight from farmers that are next to me at stalls, you know what I mean? And so sometimes I'll throw in a soup and do a soup sandwich combo. But it's hot in Houston. People don't eat a lot of soup.
They're not doing soup.
Not most of it. Like we've been cold for like a week, 2 weeks now.
And people are like, what do I do? I need something that is hot and in a bowl. And no one knows what's going on. Everyone's like, what is happening?
Exactly. But that only comes for like a really short period of time here. So not that we can't eat soups during the summertime, but it's just so hot.
Don't want to.
Right.
So season 21, Top Chef, Wisconsin. You show up the first episodes, the first season when there is no quick fire on the first episode, which is usually the, chefs getting to know each other, breaking the ice. They usually do that. They said, nope, not this time. We're just going to make you do an elimination in groups. You get into the pasta group and you immediately say, I don't cook pasta.
That's for real. Like I had not made pasta in probably over 10 years. Yeah. It
But then
was
you crush
it
it.
So I get a quick tutorial from a friend of mine. She is a high school culinary teacher. So she's teaching like the beginner of your culinary existence, right? I was like, I need a dummy version of how to make a pasta because going on to this show, you got to be able to pull something out, right? And so I wanted to be equipped with the process. And so she talked me through making a pasta. And that was literally what I referred to and pulled just out of my hat for that episode. I was nervous. They don't even show this, but I sweat so hard that that challenge. It was terrible.
I don't know if Bryan or Reaves had a follow up.
Not on that, but I do have questions on other challenges.
Mhm.
Specifically the architecture challenge. When that
Mhm.
came up, so what goes through your mind when they throw something like that at you? Do you just ask a bunch of questions to try and figure out what you can really do with this? Because like I don't understand how you map that structure onto like a dish.
Right, especially if it's not like your forte. I think somebody like a Budalo who's very architectural with his dishes, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm a Southern chef where we braise a lot, we smoke meats, and we pile it on a platter. And so those little intricacies that you see in some of the dishes, it just wasn't, it's just not what I do. So that challenge absolutely intimidated me. Um, there wasn't a lot of time to ask questions. It was like, here's the challenge. You're paired up with someone, so which was a plus because now you can pick someone else's brain, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there was no questions beyond what they told us. It was like, okay, here, pull from these buildings and now somehow figure out how to put it in a dish. I think the thing that got Charlie and I think we did well because they told us, like my dish specifically, she was like, your dish had a lot of flavor, was great. I think Charlie dish was less successful between the two, but also I think our story was less successful. So we had a hard time selling what we were trying to achieve.
Is that what you spend most of your time on? Is like or how much time do you spend like putting the story together and talking with your partner about, okay, this is the thing we're trying to show, this is the narrative we're trying to build? Like how much is spent on that versus like actually building out the dishes?
In that particular challenge, it was probably the same amount of time of us actually cooking and shopping. It was that important. It had to make sense with what we saw in the buildings. It had to make sense collectively together. And then it had to show, the parameters were like duality and showing how these two dishes kind of came together. And so, we thought like in our minds, we thought we had like a great idea. It made sense to us. But when we related to the judges, you only get so much time and they're quick firing questions to you. And some of the stuff that you guys don't see it happens. And so we're like, we just didn't tell our story well enough, I think. And so it didn't translate well.
How many times does it happen, well, for you in the show where you have a great idea, right? And then they come and throw you a curveball and then it pivots your idea. And like, was there a specific moment where it happened for you where you're like, I have this idea, but now it's not gonna work, so I gotta pivot and do something else?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone is pivoting. Quick fires, you pivot all the time because you never get to your ingredients, right? But then the elimination challenges, when you get a chance to either sleep overnight, you want to adjust and then you know what you have access to, what you don't have access to. They do a good job with telling us what we have access to and what we don't have access to. And so we try to plan accordingly, but there are times where you get to the kitchen, you don't have the dish that you want to plate in, and you have to maybe pivot how you plate something. So that happened a few times for sure.
Did you get attacked by any of the bees?
Yes, I absolutely did. So they don't show y'all over that. Like their whole day was insane. We were all just getting attacked. We were by the end of the day, we were all dancing, listen, singing Beyonce because we were just out there just waving the fans off, like waving the bees off. Exactly, like literally. But yeah, no, we absolutely, I know I screamed at least a dozen times, like even while the judges were there.
Did the judges have particular protection from the bees? Did they have bee people around them keeping the bees away because they're the judges and they say we should not get stung by bees?
That I don't know. You know, they do a great job with keeping us separate. Like, so if they weren't at our stall, we don't have access to them. So I'm sure they did. There were a lot of people on set that day.
Were these nice bees, or were they like, was it a situation where it's like, these are bees and I'm scared, or these bees were like, I'm a scary bee? You know what I'm talking about? Well, sometimes bees are mean. Sometimes
Some are very nice.
Those
Yeah.
bees
Big
were from
ones.
Milwaukee. They're working class bees. They
Yes.
were chill.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
They're just
good.
going about their day. They're just trying to live
Yeah.
their life.
You know, we invaded their space, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's like, who you? You know, you're in my
Yes.
house. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we could interview them, I'm pretty sure they'd be like, "Do you guys remember that TV show was filming here when we were trying to live our lives?"
Exactly.
Had had you ever been to Wisconsin before? Have you ever been to like that area before?
Once to Madison, my cousin actually played for was the Badgers. He was a Badger. And so
Wow.
I went one time for a game, but it was like in and out. But I didn't spend any significant time there. Yeah.
Were you excited to get when so you probably don't get a ton of time outside of the show to do stuff, but when I travel, I'm like, what are the food spots that I can get to there? Were you
Mhm.
like wondering what's going on? What can I do in Wisconsin? Like, what is there?
No, it was very clear that that wasn't even an option for us.
Oh,
Yeah. So
wow.
if you're with production literally all day, every day, there is no free time. There's no nothing.
Mm. Can
Yeah.
you order food from a place?
They did all that for us.
Mm.
You couldn't pick. They were like, this is what you get today.
There were a few times where they gave us options, but we also didn't select the options. Now, Dan from Milwaukee would try
Yes.
to facilitate some of that. And I remember there was a time or two where he was successful with, like, I think we had Indian food. Don't ask me the name. I can't even remember. But there were a few times where he was able to persuade them to order in from some places he knew.
That's a saving grace at least.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who was when you showed up that you were like, "Oh, I know you"?
No, I knew no one.
Knew no one.
I knew no
Anyone you
one.
left as like a new friend after the show?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I still mainly speak to we actually are all in a group chat, and so we all check in from time to time, saying random memes and all that other stuff, congratulating everyone. You know, the James Beard nominations just came out. I think we had four from our season, three from our season that was four from our season that was nominated. So we do a lot of congratulating in that way. But I see Amanda a lot. Probably because proximity. She's in Austin. I'm in Houston. So Amanda and Kevin. Kevin is in Austin as well. Um, who else? I've seen Dan a lot, but that's because we've done a lot of events together. Um, who else? And Savannah. Savannah and I text and call a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
So you mentioned the group chat. And I'm asking this for a friend. Do you guys have a group chat that has Tom in it? And if yes, do you then have another one that doesn't have him in it?
We do not have a group chat that has Tom in it, although we would welcome him into said chat. I think I might facilitate an invite and see if he accepts.
Okay. I think he would
Yeah.
like that.
We've
Yeah.
done that.
Yeah.
We've done that.
Yeah.
We
And
created
did
a
he
group chat.
accept?
It's still pending. He didn't say no. It is
Yeah.
still pending, but it's
There's
like,
hope. There
yeah,
is hope.
yeah.
Yeah. He didn't ask us to like figure out if there was two group chats and he wasn't in. He
Nope.
he didn't ask. He made it
He
very
didn't care.
clear that we
Yeah.
shouldn't ask on his behalf.
Yeah.
Got
So-
it.
But it is good to know that he's not being left out. He does really appreciate
Yes.
that.
I
It is-
absolutely love Tom. He's so great. It's so refreshing when someone is able to speak as freely as he does with this.
Mhm.
Like, he doesn't sugarcoat anything at any time. And you know, I appreciate that in people.
I'm sorry to keep talking about this group chat
That's okay.
thing. Do you guys talk about podcasts that you all go on and say like, I went on Pack Your Knives podcast, and it wasn't a good time. And now I'm confused as to why former Top Chef Chef Tessa is a host on the show. That's weird, right? And then wait for responses, and everyone sends gifts being like, "Oh," and agreeing that it's weird that a chef is now a host on a Top Chef show.
Hmm.
Does that happen?
Does that ever
No.
happen?
No, it
No.
hasn't happened.
No.
Okay.
Well, give it time.
Yeah, give us some time. And if anyone in that group chat, gets added to the chat, is like, hey, you guys, I was on this other podcast called Pod Chef, just check it out. That would be good.
That'd be dope. Okay,
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah,
I got you.
Let's do a segment right now. Let's do our segment called Chefs I Prepared for You. This is a segment we do every week where we talk about what we had for dinner last night and only last night, and we present it as if we're presenting it to the judges on Top Chef. Michelle, there will be a winner, but we will not vote. We will
Okay.
just pick because we just pick on this show. There's been some issue with the votings, so we're just picking on the show now because voting has been kind of volatile lately. So we pick now.
Yeah.
I'll go first. Chefs I procured for you last night.
Love to see it.
I was at a restaurant. Shrimp tacos, duck carnitas, chips and guac, and a classic margarita.
Duck carnitas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a taco.
I can dig it.
Just loose? Oh, that was taco too.
It was a taco. Duck carnitas taco.
How many? All right.
2 shrimp tacos.
That's what I want
duck,
to know.
Duck carnitas. I knew you wanted to know that.
I want to know the spread.
Yeah,
I want to know
how much is on his plate. How much?
I just know. I just want to know because you always. It's 3 tacos is the standard. That's standard. Unless you're at some bougie place to give you 2. And the options are always there.
I was being gentle last night. I'm a 6 taco guy, so I had 3, and I said, Jamal, you're having 3. You have a show to do after this. Do not go to the show with a heavy stomach.
How many taco options were there that you turned down in favor of 2 shrimp ones?
4 others.
Okay, what'd you say no to? Chicken? You said no chicken.
I said no chicken, no pork.
Okay.
I said no to beef.
Okay.
I walked in and I said, why do you even have these vegetable tacos here?
My wife likes them.
There are people that like them.
Yeah, I found that out. They said because people like them, and I said, okay. Not me, dog. Also, last night I got carded when I asked for a margarita.
They're supposed to. It's the law.
Yeah, they carded me, and I said, when you see my age, you're gonna feel so foolish because I'm much older than I look. And she looked at my card and she smiled and started laughing. And I said, yeah.
Did you really say
for
that?
The compliment. I said it.
That really happened.
Yeah, I have an important question about the tacos. Was it corn tortillas or flour?
Flour. What do we want to talk about that?
Dude.
There was no choice given. It's
no choice. We haven't named the place.
Well, now I'm afraid to.
I don't know.
You can say they were good. They just were given with
they
flour
were
tortillas.
Good. Taqueria Poblano in Alexandria, Virginia.
I don't think I've been.
It's very
there was
good.
no option? You couldn't get?
No.
Wow.
Here, okay.
There was an option for crunchy taco of new LA style taco. LA style street taco was another one I turned down.
Everyone's piling on Jamal for the flour tortillas, and I'll go to bat a little bit. It's not my go-to choice. If I'm given the choice, I will probably go flour. You can guess why. But the other day I was at a restaurant in San Francisco where they made their own tortilla. Oh my God.
Tortillas. Yeah.
Okay.
They made their own tortillas in-house. And they were very good.
I bet.
And I had them with a little breakfast platter with the tortillas. And I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
And because usually when you get like a corn tortilla is rubber. This was not.
Good.
Well,
that's why the corn is better.
I've had corn tortillas at other places where it's an obvious option on the menu. I did not see it on the menu. Maybe I was already drunk off the margarita. Who knows? But yeah, flour tortillas is very good. I also, and this is now I'm revealing too much to our guest, but I had my first burrito a week ago.
Whoa.
When?
So that does not like sandwiches. had first
Whoa.
burrito.
First burrito.
When was your
Ever.
first burrito?
Jamal.
A week ago.
From
Close to my
where?
birthday. It was a
If you
place. It was a place close by. I forgot.
You
Not
don't say
Chipotle, right?
You don't say
No, it wasn't
Chipotle.
Chipotle. It wasn't Chipotle. I
Was it
did one
Moe's?
time.
Was it
No, it
Moe's?
wasn't
You
Moe's.
gotta
I
go
did
there.
try to have a Chipotle burrito months ago, and it fell apart immediately. And I said, "Well, this doesn't count. I just abandoned ship." But this burrito held together, is very tasty, and I was like, "Oh, this is like a sandwich."
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like a sandwich.
Ish, maybe.
Yeah, ish.
Adjacent.
Yeah, so you're dealing with a 39-year-old man who finally had a burrito.
Yeah.
So
Congratulations.
It's
Welcome.
never too late.
It's never.
Quentin Tarantino didn't start directing until he was 90 years old.
Yeah.
oh, so I've got time.
He had to watch every single movie ever made.
Mhm.
And then he said, now
Now's the time.
Pulp Fiction.
I'll make the same movies again,
Yeah.
but different.
Chefs, I prepared for you leftover chicken wings and a handful of dried mango.
Mm.
And the important part here is I ate it over the sink. As you
Which
do,
one? The chicken wings or the mango?
both.
Okay.
Both.
Same time?
Over the sink. No. But you know what? In hindsight, I could have had them. Maybe that would have been a nice pairing. But
Yeah.
it was more of I ate the chicken wing and then I was like, I need
And
something
you
sweet.
said the chicken wing was fried?
This was no, it was fried. That's right.
It was fried. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was sauced?
No, it was just
Was it breaded?
no.
Mm.
It was just naked, just raw, no
No.
sauce on it?
Here, so we are in an ownership change in my house, which of course is a restaurant. Kind of
Yeah.
cool. The owner is very demanding in what they want at
Mhm.
dinner time. I cannot remember what I made for the owner at dinner time. The owner then went to sleep. I was very tired. And I said, I'm going to eat these chicken wings over the sink.
Because you're not allowed to be at the table anymore, the owner said.
At that point, I don't even want to look at the table.
Yeah.
There's a disaster over there, and I will deal with that later.
Mm-hmm.
So I ate some dry chicken wings. And then
Reheated or cold?
I think they were cold. I don't think I heated them up.
Okay.
This is a very sad story.
This story is getting sad.
And then the dry with the dry mango.
Was it the mango that's like covered in sugar dried, like the juicy mango from Trader Joe's, or just like the one that's just mango?
I think it had a little bit of sugar on it. I mean, it's it's the Whole Foods organic, but I think they still put sugar on it. I don't think it's just dry. Yeah.
I do love a dry mango. That's very good.
Oh, it's good. It's great.
Dry chicken, dry mango. This sounds like my dream.
This is Jamal.
Dry guy.
Dry meal. Love a dry meal. You got to choke down.
Chefs, last night I had prepared for me. I was at a wedding. Jumbo lump crab cake ×2 because I had my wife's because she doesn't eat meat. Worth it.
That's a win.
Yes. This is so we got the menu. We weren't given options beforehand. We showed up to the wedding. We weren't told what to mark a little thing. We showed up to the wedding and we'll get the menu and it's like there's one appetizer and it's the crab cake and there's 2 entrees, a veggie option, and then a dessert. I leave it to my wife and I said, don't not order the crab cake. Get it, and then I'll eat it. And she was like,
not order.
Yeah. She was like, well, I think if I order the vegetarian entree, they'll give me a vegetarian appetizer. And I was like, let's just risk it. Don't don't give me a crab cake. If you get it, give it to me. So that worked out. I had 2 crab cakes. They're pretty good. And then my entree was a filet mignon, pretty big piece.
Wow.
With a little potato, a square potato thing. I would say it was what I would say a potato au gratin, and that it was like kind of a flat potato with like a cheesy thing on it, but it was fancy. And then some very unseasoned vegetables that were not good. But the steak was very good. And then we left before dessert. Didn't get to have any cake or pecan tart, which I was very
No.
upset about.
Why
But
didn't you leave before dessert?
is a whole thing. The wedding was in New York City. We of course live in New Jersey, so we had to go. We also went. My wife went to the reception, to the ceremony. I did not. I got to skip that.
I got to.
It was a
I got
Catholic
to.
church. It was very religious, she said, so I did okay.
Oh, a lot of
Gonna take a
kneeling.
while.
I
Yeah.
showed up for the cocktail hour. Oh, I also got some little like finger
Perfect.
things, got some these little like goat cheese cracker things and some, some whole things. It was in like a country club in Manhattan. It's very rich people. My other option for the entree was a sea bass. No, I'm not getting that. I'm getting steak. Give me
Yeah.
the steak, baby.
You need surf and turf. You can't have
I
surf and
love
surf.
it.
We're all getting the steak. It's like, what are you getting? Filet? I'll have the filet too. Yeah, they're like, oh God, I'm not gonna have enough fillets. But yeah, we had to come home to the dogs, so we didn't get cake, which I'm very upset about. So I grabbed a Reese's Sticks 4-pack from the Dwayne Reed in Penn Station, which my wife and I split. So that was our dessert.
Great
Did you
dessert.
say goodbye to the bride and the groom?
No, we Irish
did?
goodbye.
goodbye.
We Irish goodbye.
Wow.
During what song was playing? It
Their
wasn't a
first
good
dance?
song. No,
No.
we stayed for speeches and dances, and then after the entree was served, we were like, they're gonna cut the cake soon. We cannot leave during cake cutting. That'll be obvious. Everyone's gonna be around. We
Yeah.
got to leave now.
Yeah.
So we
Now.
left then. I also
Smart.
didn't check my coat. I carried it around with me like a psychopath because I was like, not got time to go get it. Also,
Everyone was
I didn't
looking
want
at
to
you
pay
like,
for it.
that guy is not going to be here very long.
Also,
Sir, can I please take your coat? No, it's mine.
My coat was also a giant camouflage coat. This was a black tie event.
But nobody saw the coat.
And what they don't tell you is that when they say black tie, it means black bow tie. Put it in the name.
Was everyone else wearing a bow
Wow.
tie but you?
Yes. There was
Yeah.
one other. Okay. I was scanned. I was like, I feel like a fool, Carrie Ann. And she was like, it's fine. You're fine. I spotted one other person not wearing any tie.
Oh, wow.
So I beat him. And then one other person wearing a tie that was blue. So I beat him. So I wasn't last, but I was pretty close to the bottom.
Yeah. I can't do those events because I only have a red bow tie for obvious reasons.
Mhm.
Black tie just means formal. It means
What I
very
thought too.
formal.
That's what I thought too.
At the place, I Googled it, and I Googled, can you wear a long tie to a black tie wedding? And Google said no. And it said there are consequences of not meeting the dress code. And I could have been turned away.
Wow.
Now, was
Wouldn't
this
have got
the
two crab
AI
cakes.
part?
I
Or
would have
was-
got 2 crab. I've been very upset if I hadn't gotten crab cakes. They
This is
were
a good
good
thing
crab
that-
cakes too. All
This is one
meat,
of the-
very little filler. Not a single
what you
shell
want.
in it too. Not a single shell.
Oh, you made out like a
Alright.
bandit.
It's a win.
All right, Chef Michelle.
All right, I'm jumping in. So tonight, chefs, I prepared for you a chorizo chili hot dog with sour cream, fresh diced onion, jalapeno, and a side of Fritos. And then we also have a starter salad of roasted beets with a little bit of Greek yogurt, fresh orange slices, pistachios, and arugula.
Now, it's been a second since we've had an actual chef on the show, and I
Yeah.
forgot what it feels like when we ask them what they had for dinner the night before and how easily it is to destroy all of our dinners.
I had a chili cheese dog and a salad.
No,
A
you had a
Frito salad.
chorizo. You had a
I
chorizo.
had a chorizo chili, yeah.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that you had a hot dog though, because often I eat
Yeah.
hot dogs. Jamal has hot dogs once a year and tells us about it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
hot dog party.
Mhm.
He has a hot dog party.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'd come to that.
No, you wouldn't. Not when you find out how he serves them.
Oh, okay. Let me not speak too quick.
Jamal, tell her how you serve hot dogs at your hot dog party. Tell her. Tell chef.
Would-
Tell
If-
professional chef
Please don't tell me you boil the hot dog
How-
sitting
No,
in
no.
water.
how you eat your hot dogs.
I cook the hot dogs on a skillet if I'm not outside grilling, available to grill, and I get them nice and charred on a skillet, and then I toast the buns and I put cheddar cheese on top, and I eat it like a French man would, with just cheese on top of the hot dog.
Really? Oh.
You're
Favorites.
gonna respond no on that invite now when he sends you the invite for his hot dog party.
I'm just gonna remove the no from the invite when I send it out next time.
Yeah.
Only have the yes option.
Yes
Yeah,
or
it's
maybe.
yes or
Oh,
bunch of nay not
listen.
responding.
I'm not into social media trends, but we do listen and we don't judge.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
We're not supposed to yuck his yum, and he does say yum when he eats them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do. After every
Yum.
bite, I do say, "Oh, yum, cheese dog, con fromage." Oh,
What kind of hot dog was it? All beef frank.
It was an all beef. Yeah, it was an all
Okay.
beef frank. And I like to get when, especially if I know I'm eating like a chili hot dog, I do like those big like quarter pound dogs. And then we
wow.
smoke them and grill them and then top them. So it's like a whole meal.
I
Yeah.
gotta smoke the hot dogs next time at the hot dog party.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta do.
So
I got a
good.
friend with a smoker now, so I gotta smoke these things.
Yeah. I got you.
It's always nice when a friend has smoke.
Which flavor of Fritos and what size bag?
Original original Fritos. It's the only ones I actually eat, and I only eat it when I'm eating chili. And it was the bigger bag. I just put some on my plate. Yeah.
See, this is the only. I don't eat snack foods, but that is the only snack food that if it's out at like a work thing or out at a social event and they've just got like Fritos there, I will be so tempted that I will have to have a conversation in my brain about we don't need them right now. And then like my brain's like, but we like the salt. We like the salt. We want the salt.
I'm not a
And
huge snacker either. Yeah. But I
they put
appreciate
them in
Fritos.
my office.
Yeah.
They put them in my office and I have to walk by them in the
Your
kitchen
office has
every day.
Fritos?
Torture.
Yeah.
Ugh,
And
They
I
know.
Yeah.
They know about your Frito, your love for Fritos.
Well, they do a background check on everyone, so I'm sure they figure out everyone's weak point.
The government knows what snacks you love.
They put it out. There's a string attached to it.
Yeah.
You keep going for it. It keeps getting away from you every time you try to get to it.
Just to prove what they could trick you with if you ever get like, sucked into like an American situation. Roasted beet salad with, you said yogurt.
Yeah. So I grate like a little bit of garlic in there. It was like, leftover Greek yogurt, a little bit of garlic, pinch of salt, some honey, and then the beets go in. And then I had an orange, so I made orange segments. And then
Did you do the fancy thing where you have to like make them real like the thing?
Yeah, like I cut out the outside, cut all the pith off, and then I cut in between the segments. Yeah,
that's called supreming, right?
It is. I supremed an orange. Yeah,
that's when you wore that shirt that said it across the top.
Yep. That's what that whole clothing brand is about. Supreming is about cutting oranges.
citrus. Yeah.
Yep.
That's fancy. That sounds really good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Ah, that meal sounds a great meal for a cold Texas.
Exactly.
Let's do picking now.
The rules are don't tell the rules.
The rules are you can't pick yourself.
Okay.
And you cannot say I'm voting for so and so. You got to say I'm picking.
I pick.
Okay.
And if there's a tie, we have to do a new round. In which case, you still can't vote for yourself, but you also can't vote again for the person you already picked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Just like the American system.
Exactly like it. That's how Biden won.
All right. I'll go first. I'm going to pick Chef Wallace.
But what are we picking? Like, what's the
whose
parameters
meal
of the
whose meal you like the best?
Oh, got it. Heard. Okay.
The one you like the most. And I am going to pick Chef Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before I pick, I will say we don't just always pick the guest. We have had many a guest lose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Many.
With that said, I'm going to vote for Chef Wallace.
And now I want you to understand how important your vote is. I know that the picking,
the election is over. The picking, sorry. The picking is over.
There's
but
been a
we
pick.
really are interested in who you would have picked.
Still want to know your vote because the picks count. Sorry.
I am picking Chef Bryan because I love crab cakes.
Okay, this never happens. I never get second place.
Okay. And in a little kind of way, Bryan kind of won there at the end there.
There's no way I was
So,
gonna beat a professional chef.
yeah, I mean, all of us had no chance, but to come in second in this picking, I mean,
That's
that's
almost
good.
better than winning, I think.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think people underestimate coming in second in competitions.
Take it as a win. We're not
Take it
doing
as a
Talladega
win.
Nights if you're not first, you're last. We're not doing that.
So I have a question. You started in healthcare administration and then you became a pit master. How has those two experiences shaped your approach to like cooking in a restaurant?
Um, I honestly, working in healthcare, it's a different kind of jading that happens, but you do work with a lot of people. And I feel like that correlates to what we do in the restaurant industry, right?
Mhm.
It also gives you a lot of tough skin working in barbecue. Like I entered into this space. It is very male driven, and so I can't tell you how many times somebody's trying to lift a case of brisket for me or, doing all the
Mhm.
things that, they feel like I can't do as a woman. And so, they correlate because they give you strength, honestly, to, exist in a space without, people or handling people challenging you in a way.
It's almost
Yeah.
like cooking barbecue is like the military of cooking.
Yeah, you have to be disciplined with this. It's the only way to get consistent product day in and day out. Not that other chefs aren't disciplined, obviously, but there's so many variables when it comes to barbecue. If the wood that you get is too wet or dry, how does that affect your cook? If it's, running hotter or colder,
Mhm.
it affects the cook. I mean, there's just so many variables that go into it. And so you really have to be disciplined and paying attention. So I love it. And I love it because of that challenge. And, I like to think that I've mastered it now. So, this is how I think I got the gist of what Texas barbecue is and that approach and that old school training. But like what I do now, I do these smoked goat collard greens. So, I call them a caprito collard green. I'm smoking, lobster for smoked lobster rolls. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of helped me kind of move forward what barbecue can be.
I've even heard of a smoked lobster roll.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah.
What is your perfect barbecue plate? You get a plate
Ooh, that's a
and
great
you do
question.
whatever you want. Every side's available to you, every cut of meat's available, and the drink is involved too. Gotta hear what drink you're having with
Ooh.
it too.
Yeah.
That's an excellent question.
Thank
My
you.
perfect barbecue plate it will definitely have pork belly on it, preferably skin on. It would have spare ribs for sure, and some kind of sausage with pork. I'm not I can enjoy an all beef sausage, but I love a pork sausage better. The spicier, the better. So hope it would have some spice to it. For sides, fried okra is a must. I love dirty rice with it. I actually love potato chips too. Like some good house-made potato chips that are seasoned well. That would be on the plate for sure. And then obviously like some pickled veg. If there's like some kind of fresh salad or either pickled salad, something that would be there.
Did we miss the
And
drink?
yeah, what
Oh,
are
the
you washing
drink,
all this down
yes.
with?
I am washing that down with probably probably a glass of champagne or beer.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you champagne of beers and split the difference? Just do like a Coors Ultra, the champagne of beers?
No, I should say yes, since we were in Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of open to some of these craft beers. You know what I mean? I love trying out some of the new things that have, been popping up. I guess it's less now. The craft beer craze I think is tailing off, but I love it. A good light, middle of the road beer is what I love. So, but I would probably reach for a glass of bubbles first.
Mm.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't expect the bubbles.
yeah,
I'll have to try it next time I'm having champagne, next having like barbecue.
yeah,
Where's
yeah.
the champagne, chef?
Exactly. Say it again.
Last Top Chef question.
Mm-hmm.
The fish boil
Yes.
challenge.
Yeah,
What did
you have
that
to-
really taste like? Is that really any good?
You know, it,
No
you
one from Wisconsin listens. You can
know,
be honest.
Yeah. We
no,
have no listeners.
the experience of seeing it all and hearing the history obviously played a part. But like when I sat and ate the plate that they cooked for us, I was like, okay, it needs some more seasoning. Like I was already trying to think like, how do I, impart like what I'm gonna do to this? But yeah, it was just basic, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk shit, but it was just basic. Yeah, it wasn't a meal that I left with saying like, oh, yo,
Bring
next
it
time
home.
I'm in Milwaukee, I'm going to get me a fish boil. Like, no, that didn't happen. That didn't happen.
Does Dan like it? Was Dan like, this is good, you guys will like this?
He gassed it up for a second, and then we were like, no.
I think they just like the fire.
It is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Mhm.
I like the
Did
big
you wish you
fire.
could do your own fire? Are you upset you had to call in the fire guy to throw this up on the fire and you couldn't do it?
Yeah, we did all that work, running and keeping it. It was like it would be cool to be able to do it, but it was too much risk for a production to take to allow us to do it. It'd be on a guest somewhere with all with one of the chefs trying to do it. So yeah, but it was dope. That was at outside of the baseball episode, that probably was my favorite episode. And it was the toughest because like the fish was so hard, like to get flavor into it. It was just very hard. Like they were like, Michelle, like they told me how good my broth smelled, but then like the fish still was under seasoned. So it was crazy. Yeah.
So
I don't understand the science of boiling fish because that was abnormal. Abnormal.
would you think that was harder than Restaurant Wars?
No.
No.
Restaurant Wars, hand down. Like I got no sleep in trying to figure all of that out. And we were all busting our ass. Like they make you open a restaurant in that short amount of time. And you're making every decision, to the artwork, to the color of the wall, to the art on the wall, to the furniture in the space, to the silverware, to the linen, to everything. And then you still have to cook your dish, and then you still have to execute it. And then for me, I was front of the house, so I had to organize the reservations. I had to train the front of the house staff. I had to trust somebody with my dish. Like it was stressful. Yeah.
Do you think it's fun when I don't remember if Kristen did it a lot, but Patty used to always like really pretend like she was at like a restaurant. Like she would be like, "Oh, let's try this place." And she would like act like she'd be like, "Oh, is there a reservation for us?" Like, yes, Pat, but this is
Right.
this is your show. I don't remember if Kristen did it or not, but I feel it was always a big part of their show being like, of the shows being like, oh, when am I gonna get seated? Go sit down. You own this
Like,
place.
like your table's right there waiting for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember if Kristen did that or not. I do remember trying to figure out how much or how little, like how much are we actually playing, not playing, but like how much of it do you really want to experience as a true diner, or how much of this is really judges? And they wanted, I feel like, a good mesh of it. I don't know. I feel like I could have done more of like, oh yes, I know you guys are the judges and I'm going to speak to you in that way versus just them being a guest.
Well, I mean, you did advance after that, so you
Yeah,
did what
thank
needed
you.
to be done.
Yeah.
Um,
And plus, we still had a restaurant full of people,
yeah.
That needed service, and stuff was happening, and plates were late, and so you had to tend to those people because they gave feedback to their experience, and so that went into judging as well. So,
Did
yeah.
any of those people like make a big deal or like make a scene of like, I've been waiting for 7 minutes. Why isn't this coming yet?
I always remember a table saying that their entrees were a long time, and I'm like in my head, like, really?
It's free, right? They're not paying for this.
Really? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
you're
my
gonna say
goodness.
this? Like, you trying to get your 15 minutes? What's happening here? Like, eat some more bread or something. Like, what are you doing?
Maybe
Yeah,
send a
that we
producer
did.
over.
Yeah, right. We did. I remember speaking to a table specifically who was like, our entrees are taking a little long. Like, can you check on them? And I'm like, you have to, play the part. You have to do the thing. So,
and they're like, I'm helping. I'm making the show interesting. Once you left,
I'm a character now.
Yeah, I'm important.
Yeah. The producers
like,
come
shut
over.
up.
Yeah. The producers come over and say, get out of here.
Yeah.
Move this table out of here.
Oh yeah,
Like,
man, that was crazy.
Really yell at them. Give it to them.
Yeah, I'm sure they did something.
So I have to ask, what happened on episode 11 when you had to make the food on the table?
Oh yeah.
You said that it wasn't the design you're going for.
Yeah.
Did you just run out of time? Did you like start putting on the table and realize, oh wait, I'm not using the table as much as everyone else?
I think I knew the table, how large it was, so we got a chance to see it. I definitely ran out of time for what I wanted to do because my finished thing, I wanted it to be like a mosaic of colors. And so I was trying to have blocks of colors on a lot, like a more grand scale. I just didn't get there. I also think that we're now at episode 11. Like, I just remember that night going home and just plopping down and just like kind of feeling relieved to be able to get some really good sleep and not have the the pressure of the competition. And so I think by this time it's just, I just couldn't get my thoughts together, and I questioned myself the whole time that we drove to Whole Foods, that we were in Whole Foods, and like, am I doing the right thing? I just really second guessed myself that whole time, and so it just showed in what I presented that day.
That is like an element that's unspoken, and the amount of stress and lack of sleep that you're under. And these conditions don't really replicate real world cooking, like some of these quick fires and these eliminations. So what helps you keep going? Like, you get to the week 1, 2, 3, you're like, okay, I'm like, I want to keep going, but I need some sleep.
I'm tired. Literally, that's what everyone says who got eliminated. And I just, I don't know if there's a way to prepare. I'm actually friends with Evelyn Garcia. She was in a previous season. And one of her biggest tips to me was that this game is very much mental, and you need to have mental stamina. And so I did there was just a lot of constraints. Like, we couldn't move around freely. Like, you know what I mean? And so I would do like a lot of like jumping jacks or push up, some way to try to get some of that, work out the anxiety, you know what I mean? So that I could actually go to sleep. But then, that worked somewhat, but that was the best thing that I could do, to try to get it out, and then just kind of focus in on your just mentally, just try to be sound. It is the toughest part of the competition, by hands down.
I wonder what this competition would be like if they allowed you all to have a day's rest in between competitions.
Oh, it would be completely different. I think you would see a different chefs. I think people would come in truly on their A game. People don't show up every day on their A game because they're tired and they're tapped, and we don't get a chance to think about these dishes. We get a chance to just listen and then go cook. Yeah. So, if there was a time to be off, or either tap into like support systems, if I can call, my fiance or my sister, and they, have a conversation, like, there's none of that. You can't tap into none of what you would typically do on a tough day,
It would be British Bake Off then.
Yeah,
you get the time to relax and think about what you're doing. Everyone would be happy, and it'd be just a nice show.
Yeah,
and Tom would be Paul Hollywood.
Yeah,
pretty close. I want to see them
I'm
together.
surprised he hasn't done the handshake.
That's a show, like kind of a buddy cop show.
I'd watch that.
Paul Hollywood and Tom, cooking.
I always think about that whenever I hear Tom being like, or like past seasons that we rewatch, and he's like, I expect better cooking. I expect better quality level of food. I'm like, I'm pretty sure all of them have had like 3 hours of sleep in the past 7 days. I don't know what you're asking for.
Absolutely. I mean, we got that conversation from Kristen this season. It was like, y'all gotta bring it. We're trying to. We're trying to. So, it is we signed up for this. So, part of that is like self-inflicted. You want to just show up. You want to try to look as skinny as you can on camera. You want to not look like a fool and try to just put out good, solid food. And so, at the end of the day, I'm extremely happy I did it. I'm extremely happy they reached out to me and I was able to get on and do all the things. So, I wouldn't be here
So
talking to y'all.
you
Hey,
won.
you know what? Who's
Yeah.
the winner?
Your
You
girl.
Yes.
you won the audience favorite for the year, for the season, audience
I
best.
did.
What has life been like since being on the show and returning back to like doing what you want to do and cooking?
Life has been incredible. For the first time, I feel like, you know, people one see me and see the type of food that I do. It is so unconventional, like my barbecue and the food that I present, and it's very different. And I'm outside the box with how I think about and how I approach food. And I think people can see it and understand and appreciate it. And at the end of the day, I just want to put good food out to the people. I want to put it out. I want to source locally as much as I can. I want to support, other local businesses while putting myself out there. And the people have responded. They really, I think, understood who I was on the show and what I like to do. And it's been just nothing but up. Like literally, I get noticed in the airport and it still blows me away. Yeah, it still blows
That's
me
cool.
away. So it's been extremely life changing.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Want to be conscious of your time. I know Jamal promised an hour. We're at an hour 10.
Okay.
So is there anything that you want, people to know about what you got going on, or just, in general, or just like something you think that everyone should know?
Everyone should know that, check out chefmichellewallace.com, which is where you can kind of keep up with the goings on of me. Right now, I don't have a restaurant location. I exist solely in farmers markets and I do specialty pop ups in the city of Houston, but also around. This year, I'm planning to do like a farmers market crawl across the country. So, what I want to do is, because I love it so much, I just really feel like, you don't have to have a restaurant to be impactful in this genre, right? And so I know we rest our laurels on some restaurants, but I'm a pop up and I still have something to say. And so I'm just going to try to go around the country, check out farmers markets, shop, and then do a pop up. And so I'm planning that now. But again, check out chefmichellewallace.com and then you'll be able to see kind of when everything kind of takes off for that.
Hey, so I hope you can come out to the East Coast. Yeah.
Farmers market in DC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
DC, Tacoma
Yeah.
Park. Farmers
If you
market.
know them, let me know because I really am trying to build relationships so I can build a schedule and get it done. So yeah.
All right.
Also, you can find me on Instagram at Between the Slices, like I mentioned earlier. So.
All right. That's great. I mean, all of this has been fantastic. You were a fan favorite. You're one of our favorites. You were on my fantasy team during the season.
Good.
So,
I'm sorry I lost.
No. It's fine.
Oh.
I was happy that my team scored a lot of points. So
good.
And my team was all the black contestants except for one.
You had me.
Yeah.
Amanda, Val.
Yep.
Charlie.
Yep.
Who else? That was it, huh?
And then I had Dan.
Oh, okay, Dan. Yeah.
So every time we did our draft round, I was like, "Oh, another black chef is available." I don't know how they're still available.
Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that.
I don't know how they're still available.
Don't say it like that.
Hey, they're there. I'll take them. So
come on, man.
I think I won. I was trying to check today, but I think I messed up and deleted our fantasy draft tracker. So it's
not important.
Bryan hasn't won yet. That's why he's saying that. Chef Michelle Wallace, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was a treat. Everyone, if you're in Houston, go check her out. Or if you can catch her on the tour of farmers markets, check her out there. Makes great food. It was such a delight to have you on. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate it. And you know, y'all got a new fan. I love it. Love, 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 love hearing you guys' commentary. So
Okay, you might make the outro with that.
Yeah, clip it.
We like to add folks who
Back
say
it
things
on.
nice or otherwise to the outro.
Yeah.
Chef Dale enjoyed us. And
Oh,
then
wait. I forgot the thing we ask all of our guests.
we've already said
It's-
goodbye.
I know,
We've
but we
already
have
said
to do.
goodbye, though.
We have to do this. It's just
Make it
very
fast.
quick. It's called
Okay.
debone, add foam, or send home. Which
De-
one of the debone, add
What's-
foam, or send
Oh,
home?
got it.
Which
Okay.
one of the three of us would you debone, add foam, or send home?
And as a reminder of our names, Bryan is in the New Jersey hat, Jamal is in the Tampa Bay hat, and I am the one where I'm titled as Ginny, but my name is Reaves.
And you have no hat.
Yeah, and I have no hat.
This is uncomfortable.
It
So-
means nothing.
It means nothing.
We were close to getting out
Debone,
without it.
add foam,
Like cooking
and
things,
send
but it means
home.
nothing.
Okay, I would debone Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
I would add foam to Reaves, and then send
you.
home Jamal.
All right. The record
Okay.
stands. I keep getting sent home. Thank you so much for coming on.
That's funny.
This was fun.
Absolutely.
This is great, guys. You guys got something here. This is fun.
Thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate it. And you know, y'all got a new fan. I love it. Love, 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 love hearing you guys' commentary. So
Okay, you might make the outro with that.
Yeah, clip it.